Check. There we go. My fault, David. Sorry, chat. I'm effing up.
I thought it was me. It's a new board for me, so I'm trying to get all the kinks out.
No, it's totally my fault. Chat, do you hear me now? Check. Chat, let me know if you can hear. Check. All right, cool. Show starts in 2 minutes. People are saying I had a hot take earlier, saying I'd take Austin Reeves over Devin Booker. Look at the game today. Not putting all this into one game, but why are the Suns this bad?
That seems like a good take.
You think it's a good take?
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, it's a little hot, but I don't think it's crazy. Look at Devin Booker last year in the playoffs versus Minnesota. Look at him. What happened against Dallas a couple years ago? I think Austin's might be the best third option in the game. Now he's the second option.
Yeah, when the lights get bright, Devin Booker disappears.
Lately, yeah.
This is the LA Clippers Audio Network. You're listening to Clippers Countdown.
Zubac gets out and hammers it home.
Your pregame look at everything Clippers.
Pans it from downtown.
Now your host walking you up to tip-off.
More like a full sprint.
Adam Osland.
Welcome into Clippers Countdown as your 37-30 LA Clippers return home to Intuit Dome with a little buzz, having won 5 of 6, and because they're taking on the Charlotte Hornets, they're in town with a player who has shades of Pistol Pete Maravich in his game. Call him Luger LaMelo Ball, who shoots 22 times per game while throwing flashy passes and running the show for an offense that is coming off scoring 145 points in their latest victory. But the Clippers have a defense that can slow anyone down and are coming off holding the Atlanta Hawks to 98 points on Friday, including a third-quarter defensive performance for the ages, along with Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi furrows to the rim. Reverse layup with his back to the basket. He twists it in. Oh, my goodness. No need to look for Kawhi. Kawhi angles, twisting, wild layup, up and in for 2. Leonard funnels one through, falling to the hardwood. Wow. Young to the rim, up and under, and he throws it away again. Kawhi the steal on the pass ticketed for Daniels. Leonard straightaway 3. Rips the ropes. Kawhi Leonard gives the Clippers the lead. Kawhi double team, lost it, gets it back, hops off the right foot, and lays it up in the paint for 2. 19 for Kawhi. Leonard's got it far block against his former teammate Terrence Mann. Barrels baseline, spins left shoulder, fades.
10 seconds.
Jumper, hits the backside of the rim and bounces in. What a finish from Kawhi.
The Clippers in the third quarter held the Hawks to just 8 points, a snowman, as they were that cold. And they got 25 from James Harden, from Kawhi Leonard, plus 8 total steals from Uno Dos, that 1-2 punch, in their 121-98 victory on Friday night, which gave them a successful 3-1 road trip. And now tonight, the Clippers are back home here at Intuit Dome, taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Tip-off is just 60 minutes away. Coming up next, we got Carlo Jimenez on your pregame show. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Check 1, 2. Okay.
It's where we raise our families, earn a living, enjoy life.
But when disaster strikes, it takes all of us to come together and make it home again.
Your Southern California Ford dealers are helping first responders with donations and support to the LA Fire Department and California Community Wildfire Recovery.
If your vehicles were damaged by the recent Los Angeles area fires, your Southern California Ford dealers are offering you employee pricing.
It takes all of us to turn heartache into hope and make it home again.
LA Strong, built Ford proud.
Clippers fans, dunks, dimes, and no looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL, especially at the new Intuit Dome, the official home of the LA Clippers. Intuit Dome opened just in time for Clippers season and boasts features you have to see to believe, including the Halo board and the wall, which includes 51
Hey, Adam, you still there?
rows of the biggest Clippers
Barely.
fans. As the newest
Okay, I got it.
technologically advanced sports arena, Intuit Dome helps you enjoy the
Check,
NBA
check.
IRL like never before. So get your tickets to
Sorry,
see
Chad,
all
we
the
have
action at
technical
LA's
issues.
sickest new arena. It all starts with buying verified tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the LA Clippers and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can watch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Clippers
Where's,
up close to hearing the
where's
squeak of
the Kenny
sneakers on
GM?
the hardwood. So get
Who was
tickets
shocked
at
to hear
Ticketmaster,
yesterday
because
say
there's
that Norman
no
Powell is
better
going to
brag
start.
than saying you saw it live.
Jan from Toyota here. Feeling cooped up from winter? Well, now until March 31st is the perfect time for a new Toyota, like Camry, Grand Highlander, and more. So you can get back out there and do the things you love, like hitching up the boat to a tundra for a lake day.
I haven't water skied in a long time.
All right, we're back in 30.
Spring fantasies with a new Toyota. Come in today.
Okay.
Dreaming it to Dealer inventory may
nope,
vary.
still
See a
hearing it.
participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota,
Check, check.
Let's go places.
Throws it out the window, finishes in the foul.
Los Angeles,
Clipper Nation.
this is your home for the LA Clippers.
LA Clippers.
Take us with you on the iHeartRadio app.
Check it out. See, the only thing you need to do right here is snarl your freaking head.
Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets here at Intuit Dome. As I think we got the technical issues resolved. I'm Adam Osland. Tip-off is 57 minutes away. Here are Clippers Countdown. Welcome back in. Coming up, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. Plus, we're also going to have Carlo Jimenez on in just a little bit if he'd like to join us here. I don't know what time he thinks it is. Carlo, good to see you, my friend.
Oh, hey, Adam. Sorry, I didn't know I was like coming on right now, but I guess I will.
The usual time?
Well, it's
Well, it is an early game today.
yeah. I'm a little confused and thrown off. I don't know where I am or what's going on.
Clippers are home.
What's your name? Oh, sorry.
Adam.
Oh, hey, Adam.
It's good. Nice to meet you, Carlo. You got a great voice for this. I can tell already.
What do we do? What is this?
Well, we're going to start things off here talking about the Clippers' big victory in Atlanta, 121-98 over the Hawks on Friday. I believe you were traveling with the team, and they flew back on Saturday at some point. But that was a big-time victory and one of the all-time third quarters. One of the best quarters I had seen from a defensive perspective, holding a team to just 8 points.
Yeah, the Clippers straight up broke the Atlanta Hawks in that third quarter, Adam. They finished with allowing 8 Hawk points and forcing 8 Hawk turnovers in 12 minutes. Just an incredible performance by the Clippers. Nothing going for Trae Young in that game. I thought Chris Dunn, one of his best defensive games in terms of just shutting down an opposing player. And then you think about how the Clippers got going offensively. 35 points in that quarter. They were down by 8, and 4 minutes later, they were up by 8. It was really a huge change in that ball game. The Clippers with another big win against a Hawk team that had won 4 in a row. I mean, they were on a heater going to that ball game, ending a 6-game homestand. Huge win for the Clippers. You go 2-1 on the trip. Maybe not the loss you thought you would be taking home, but if you're the Clips, you will take it on the road with 2 big wins.
Successful road trip, back at Intuit Dome now, and Kawhi Leonard looked back in that ball game. I love the aggressiveness, getting into the paint. He had a no-look 180 reverse layup. He hit some tough shots. He went at Terrence Mann. Looks like he had a little something extra for him. And then defensively against Dyson Daniels out there, it looked like Kawhi almost wanted to say, hey, this is what a two-time Defensive Player of the Year looks like.
I mean, he stripped Daniels a couple times in that ball game. But like you mentioned, I thought the most impressive part was Kawhi creating the contact on the offensive end, seeking out opposing players, getting into their chest, attacking with fearlessness to the rim, really showing his aggressiveness and his prowess on the offensive end. Like you've talked about, the Clippers need Kawhi Leonard to get back to true form. You see it every game, a little bit more of how he's progressing with this group, getting ready for this playoff run for the Clips. The biggest thing you love to see from Kawhi, though, that defense. 5 steals in that ball game. He was excellent for the Clippers, a season-high 5 steals for the Claw. And then he had all 5 in the first half. I mean, he could have gone for more if he wanted to. It was just so impressive in that ball game.
I thought James Harden having all 6 of his turnovers in the first half really said something. We've seen this before this year where he's taken responsibility for a bad half, a bad first half performance, and completely turned it around. He had 13 of his eventual 25 in the third quarter. He took care of the basketball. He made the right plays out there and made that adjustment. They don't win if he doesn't turn his game around.
What makes James Harden such a great leader, Adam, is that he takes accountability. And in his post-game press conference with Lauren Rosen, friend of the show and our FanDuel TV sports sideline reporter, he said, look, I went into the halftime locker room. I knew I had too many turnovers. I need to play better. And he was able to play better in that second half, did not have another turnover. One of the great leaders this Clipper organization has had because he holds himself to the same standard that he holds everybody else to, and that's the continued improvement and always trying to be better throughout the night. The other thing from James Harden was he played very well without the ball in his hands much of that second half. Felt like Kawhi Leonard was doing a lot of the isolation scoring, James getting catch-and-shoot looks, the ability to get downhill to find his teammates. It was an impressive performance from the Beard in that ball game. That's now 7 straight games, Adam, or 20 or more from James Harden, who seems to be peaking at the right time for the Clippers, averaging 30 points in that stretch.
Bit of a homecoming for Bogey going back to Atlanta. I felt like he played within himself, was very efficient out there, didn't try to just take over the game and make it him versus the Hawks. A very team-oriented game from Bogdan Bogdanovic.
It was great. He admitted he was very nervous showing up to the arena saying, I didn't know we had a visitor locker room. At one point, he said that he gave Trae Young a high five after one of Trae's plays because he just used to being in that building, giving Trae Young a high five for the last 5.5 seasons. It was funny to hear him talk about at one point, you don't know how much you were loved until you leave. He said they have an expression for that in Serbian, and he felt that night in Atlanta, so well loved. And it seems to be a trend for him in his career. Everybody you talked to when he was in Sacramento, a huge fan of him, and now with the Clippers, him and Ivica Zubac just walking through the locker room today, talking in Serbian as they're getting ready for today's contest. So it's a lot of fun to see him relate with everybody. He seems to really be enjoying his time here, and the Clippers are enjoying the output. Last 10 games at him, over 40% from the three-point line.
He is fitting in well. He's become a bit of an X factor for this squad. The Clippers return after winning in Atlanta in Bogey's old stomping grounds, 121-98 over the Hawks. Coming up next, Carlos got his one-on-one interview with a coach. We'll let that be the tease here. We won't tell you who, but that's coming up next. Carlos got to go. That's why he was trying to get away from me a little bit earlier. He's got to get to this interview. I'm Adam Moslin. Clippers taking on the Hornets, and this is Clippers Countdown live from Intuit Dome right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Jan from Toyota here. Feeling cooped up from winter? Well, now until March 31st is the perfect time for a new Toyota, like Camry, Grand Highlander, and more. So you can get back out there and do the things you love, like hitching up the boat to a tundra for a lake day.
I haven't water skied in a long time.
Live out your spring fantasies with the new Toyota. Come in today.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
Nothing compares to catching Clippers basketball IRL. And nobody knows that better than you, LA fans. This season is even more exciting with the Clippers moving to their new home, Intuit Dome in Inglewood. Intuit Dome redefines the way fans watch basketball, including incredible features like the interactive Halo board and 51 rows of uninterrupted seats in the wall. Be sure to take it all in and experience the NBA IRL like never before. It all starts with buying verified tickets to the next Clippers home game at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the LA Clippers and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you into the game so you can catch every highlight in person. And that goes double for all the sneaker squeaks, celebrity sightings, and drip checks. So get Clippers tickets at Ticketmaster.
What up, Chad?
Whether they're here at Intuit
Check,
Dome or
1, 2.
on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Dan Patrick.
Commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver. Give me the wildest thing that you guys have considered.
The NBA is the only league that plays 48 minutes. I am a fan of 4 10-minute quarters, putting aside what it means for records and things like that. Incidentally, if you went to a 40-minute game with the issues around load management and resting, it would be the equivalent of taking like 15 games off the season.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday morning, 6 a.m., right here on LA's home of the world champion Dodgers.
Throws it out the window, finishes in the foul.
Los Angeles.
Clipper Nation.
This is your home for the LA Clippers.
LA Clippers.
Take us with you on the iHeartRadio app.
Don't sweat the technique.
Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets here at Intuit Dome. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. This is Clippers Countdown. 49 minutes away from tip-off. Coming up, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. But first, let's head back over to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez.
Thanks so much, Adam. Here with assistant coach Brian Shaw before the Clippers take on the Charlotte Hornets. Coach Chris Dunn, not playing today, but I wanted to ask you about his ability to be a tone setter for this team. It seems like he kind of raises all boats with the way he plays. How do you see that on the floor, and have you felt that from other guys you've coached or played with in the past?
I don't know if I've felt it defensively. Obviously I played with guys that offensively set the tone and dominated and made a lot of things easier on the offensive end for us, teams that I've either played for or coached. But haven't really seen anybody on the team that I've been involved with defensively to be as impactful as Chris Dunn has been for us this year. It's almost like, being a shutdown corner, and you can put him on whoever, whatever. And, last week he guarded Zion, to guard Trae Young the other night. And so I actually believe that we played Atlanta the other night, and two of the best on-ball defenders in the game, Chris Dunn and Dyson Daniels, were in the same game. And I hope that KD has all of the requirements to qualify for possibly being, Defensive Player of the Year, because I think that I don't know anybody that's better defensively than him.
You get Norman Powell back today. Obviously, his offense has been excellent for you guys. How does that percolate to everybody else, the way he's able to shoot the ball? How does it make life easier for everyone?
He's a guy that's always in attack mode, and he's a 3-level scorer. He can get to the basket. He get to the free throw line, as well as knock down the shot, efficiently from the 3-point line. So, teams have to account for him at all times, and because of that, at all times, and because of that, it creates openings for others, because they have to pay attention to him, because you look up and he'll rattle off 10 quick points. Now you start paying attention to him, and then now you have to leave somebody else open. And so we've been missing his potency on the offensive side of the ball, and it'll be good to have him back.
And last one for you. This is a Charlotte team that's won 3 of 4, and they scored 145 points in their last game. Defensively, where does your guys' focus have to be against them?
Well, one, we can't turn the ball over, and we have to get back in transition. They play with a lot of pace, and they have young guys that are fast, and that's been a formula for disaster for us this year. When our teams make it real difficult for us when they're fast and they're young, and this team is, they're not playing for a playoff position, so they're just playing loose and finishing out the season. And so Obviously,
Hey, Adam, still there?
Scoring a lot of points, and
Yep.
when we don't come out,
All right, all good.
the right focus and the mentality to hit first, we find ourselves in a deficit, early in games. And so tonight, we got, obviously we just came back off the road, being gone a week. But we're fighting for positioning, in the West ourselves. And so this is a game that on paper, everybody would say we should win, but we can't take them lightly, because like you said, they're playing well. They're scoring a lot of points. They're playing fast. And, so we have to be ready for that.
All right, thank you so much. Best of luck.
All right, thanks.
Assistant Coach B. Shaw there with Carlo Jimenez pregame as we get set for the Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets here at Intuit Dome. I'm Adam Osland. You're listening to Clippers Countdown, and coming up next, we're going back in time and Clippers Rewind right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Don't sweat the technique.
It's where we raise our families, earn a living, enjoy life.
But when disaster strikes,
Adam,
it
was that
takes
better?
all of us to come together and make it home.
Sounds good, bro.
Your
Thank
Southern
you.
California Ford dealers are helping first responders with donations and support to the LA Fire Department and California Community Wildfire Recovery.
If your vehicles were damaged by the recent Los Angeles area fire,
I couldn't tell if it was me at first or if it was a special effects. My hearing's so bad, I'm like, maybe it's just so loud in here, so I wasn't sure.
No,
LA
it was my
strong,
send to
built
your
for
box
the
is
proud.
what it was making so hot.
It sounds really good now.
Forget about the master bathroom and a great kitchen. This is laying concrete. This is foundation up. They need stability. They need culture, and Pete provides that. I think he's an excellent fit with the Raiders. Pretty good bet that a coordinator just won't do.
Colin Cowherd.
Any of you like super into college basketball?
Right here on your home of the world champion Dodgers.
AM 570 LA Sports.
Say again?
David, are you super into college basketball?
I used to be. Me and my sister used to, ever since she was in college, like back in 2003, we would do like the dorm room bracket challenge at her university. But like in the more recent years, I haven't gotten into it much. It's just kind of
I get
faded
you.
out.
I'm not. I was just watching the selection show here. North Carolina got in, and people are just stunned.
Yeah, because they screwed that game against Duke. They came back from like 30 down, or maybe like 25, and then they lost on a lane violation.
Yeah, and they were 1-12 against like top teams.
Yeah,
Up the boat to a Grand Highlander for a lake day.
I haven't watched.
Yeah, I follow.
I barely watched it when they came up. I was like, what?
I follow enough to know what's going on, but I'm not like watching games anymore.
Go from dreaming.
Yeah, I feel you.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating.
I think I've replaced it with Formula One.
Ooh, now we have something to talk about.
Yeah, there you go.
Off the window, finishes in the foul. Los Angeles.
More on that later.
This is your home for the LA Clippers. LA Clippers. Take us with you on the iHeartRadio app.
Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets here at Intuit Dome. Welcome back. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Coming up, we'll get to your player to watch. Grant Mona from the Sporting Tribune will join me. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind to February 5th of 2019, the Lego Movie 2. The second one is what it was called. It was at the top of the box office. 7 Rings by Ariana Grande. That was at the top of the Billboard charts. And the Clippers were having their second of 3 20-point comebacks in a week, capped off by this shot against the Hornets from Tobias Harris.
Lou Williams, right-handed hip-high dribble, momentarily double, evades it, finds Tobias up top with 7 to shoot. He goes to the foul circle, the foul line, the running right-hander in the air for the lead. He put it in. Yes, sir. 117 to 115. Tobias Harris with 34. Timeout, Charlotte. 4 seconds to play.
Tobias Harris, the game winner there, and it was his final shot as a member of the Clippers in that 20-point comeback. He was traded later that night to the Philadelphia 76ers. Still got love for Toby. Now he's back with Detroit. Saw him not too long ago, but that was back in 2019, February 5th of 2019, that game winner from Tobias Harris, his final shot as a Clipper. Coming up next, as we get set for the Clippers taking on the Hornets here at Intuit Dome, we're going to get to your player to watch and then your injury report. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Stop watching. My neck is fuzzy. Make big deposits. My gloss is popping. You like
Jan from Toyota here. Feeling cooped up from winter? Well, now until March 31st is the perfect time for a new Toyota, like Camry, Grand Highlander, and more. So you can get back out there and do the things you love, like hitching up the boat to a tundra for a lake day.
I haven't water skied in a long time.
Live out your spring fantasies with a new Toyota. Come in today.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
Play your
What up,
perfect
chat?
combination at Pechanga
First
Resort
down, the
Casino.
X-Factor on
My perfect
defense.
combination.
Yeah,
I'll
probably.
take a sunrise game of golf any day and slots all night
My,
long.
Mine is room service
My
and
ring
a gorgeous suite
exploded.
with a view.
Let's see. Massage, sushi, and
My,
Oh, for
my
me,
selfie
girls'
ring
night out means
has a
slots,
bad
craps,
cord.
and roulette.
Whoever you are,
I
the
gotta get the
excitement,
one- those
the
cheap things, like
relaxation you're
20
looking
bucks.
for is here. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino.
Official partner of the LA Clippers.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
First thing, there are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by JD Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line.
Additional terms apply for JD Power 2024 award information. Visit jdpower.com/awards.
Dan Patrick.
Commissioner, the NBA, Adam Silver. Give me the wildest thing that you guys have considered.
The NBA is the only league that plays 48 minutes. I am a fan of 4 10-minute quarters, putting aside what it means for records and things like that. Incidentally, if you went to a 40-minute game with the issues around load management and resting, it would be the equivalent of taking like 15 games off the season.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday morning, 6 a.m., right here on LA's home of the world champion Dodgers. This is the LA Clippers Audio Network.
Best fans and best arena in the entire sport.
Take us with you wherever you are on the iHeartRadio app.
Back to Clippers basketball.
Clippers taking on LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets here at Intuit Dome. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. Tip-off is just 38 minutes away here on your official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. It's Clippers Countdown. Still to come, we got Grant Mona coming on from the Sporting Tribune. But first,
This is LA Clippers basketball.
Watching this guy play right now is really something.
Players to watch.
spoiler alert for your injury report coming up. My player to watch is Norman Powell. He's back. He's in the starting lineup. Where else did you think he'd be? He's their leading scorer this season, getting 24 per game. You think he was going to be coming off the bench? Norman Powell has turned into a borderline all-star, should have been an all-star this season. That's how good he has been for this Clippers team. When you look at the scoring and the efficiency, with the volume going up and the efficiency going up at the same time, Norman Powell has been so integral to what this team has been up to this season, now being 7 games above 500. But I want to see how he looks back off the hamstring injury. Remember, he's only played 9 games post-All-Star break, 9 minutes post-All-Star break. He played that second game against the Lakers, but had the hammy issue in the first quarter, so only played 9 minutes. They need him. They need his scoring. They need his three-point shooting, where he's at 43% from the outside on the season. We'll see how many minutes he gets tonight against Charlotte, but just want to see if he's moving well out there. Obviously, a hamstring injury can be tricky. A player to watch, Norman Powell. Up next, the rest of your injury report here on Clippers Countdown as we get set for the Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets here at Intuit Dome. And tip-off is just 36 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
It's where we raise our families, earn a living, enjoy life.
But when disaster strikes, it takes all of us to come together and make it home again.
Your Southern California Ford dealers are helping first responders with donations and support to the LA Fire Department and California Community Wildfire Recovery.
If your vehicles were damaged by the recent Los Angeles area fires, your Southern California Ford dealers are offering you employee pricing.
It takes all of us to turn heartache into hope and make it home again.
LA Strong, built Ford proud.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
Personally, there are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line. Additional terms apply for J.D. Power 2024 award information. Visit jdpower.com/awards.
Did you know that every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care? It's a no-cost
Grant Bowen
maintenance
in the
plan
house.
that covers all normal factory-scheduled service for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever comes first. All work is performed by factory-trained technicians using genuine Toyota parts. Toyota Care will keep your new Toyota running like, well, a Toyota. Valid only in the continental U.S. and Alaska. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Everything you need to find your perfect Toyota is
Chris
right at your
Dunn game.
fingertips at Toyota.com. Explore a
So
full
many,
lineup
man.
of vehicles. Compare features
I check out the
side by
third
side.
quarter against Milwaukee.
Search our available inventory.
I know they
You
ended
can
up losing,
find
but
the
Chris
best
Dunn
local
was
offers.
special in that third quarter.
Everything you need is just a few clicks
Third
away
quarter last
on
game.
Toyota.com.
Are we worried about Chris Dunn's knee?
So for your next
Uh,
Toyota car,
no.
truck, or SUV, just
If he's not
visit
back Tuesday, I might be
Toyota.com.
though.
Ty Lue said he's day to day,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like the same thing. They've had knee surgeries.
Throws it out the window, finishes in the foul.
Los Angeles.
Clipper Nation.
This is your home for the LA Clippers.
LA Clippers.
Take us with you on the iHeartRadio app.
Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets here at Intuit Dome. Welcome back in. This is Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland. We are 33 minutes away from tip-off. Coming up in our media roundtable segment, we got Grant Mona on from the Sporting Tribune. But first, let's get your injury report brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, download the app today and use code KLAC to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. For the Clippers, no Jordan Miller in this one. He's out with left hip soreness, but available is Norman Powell. Off air, we were just talking about it with Grant Mona. No Chris Dunn in this game, left knee soreness. It has been something he's been dealing with for some time here. As for the Charlotte Hornets, they have had a ton of injuries. No Brandon Miller. He's got the wrist injury he had surgery on. Of course, Grant Williams tore his ACL. They have been through it this season, but they just put up 145 points their last time out against the San Antonio Spurs. And they have LaMelo Ball, and they have Miles Bridges, and they have enough where if you're not careful, if you're not bringing your A game tonight, if you overlook them, they can sneak up and beat you. Clippers tonight taking on the Hornets. Tip-off 32 minutes away. Coming up next, we'll get to Grant Mona right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
It's where we raise our families.
I got a question
earn a
for you.
living,
Okay.
enjoy
I'm taking
life.
some heat for this take
But when disaster
from a couple
strikes,
people. Majority of people
takes
just
all
like
of
it.
us
Okay.
to come
But it
together
is
and
a
make
little
home.
warm.
Your
It's
Southern
warm.
California Ford dealers are helping
David
first
doesn't think it's that
responders
hot.
with donations and
Let me hear
support to the LA Fire Department and
I
California
think right
Community
now I would
Wildfire
take
Recovery.
Austin
If your
Reeves over
vehicles
Devin
were
Booker.
damaged by the recent
Ooh.
Los Angeles area fires, your
Well,
Southern
just look at what
California
Austin
Ford
Reeves
dealers
has been doing
are
since
offering you
Luka got
employee
into the
pricing.
lineup.
It takes all of
Everyone
us to
thought he
turn
would take a
heartache
step
into
back.
hope
He's
and
actually
make it
shot
home.
up in
LA
a lot
strong,
of categories.
built
Well,
Ford
look at
proud.
him, the
Without
Denver
Luka.
game
This
without
is
Luka
Colin
recently.
Cowherd.
Look at him without
Forget
LeBron.
about the
Like,
master
he is a
bathroom
better
and
second
a
option
great
right now. He
kitchen.
looks like the
This
Devin
is
Booker.
laying
And I remember
concrete.
everyone got mad over
This
the
is
Beal over
foundation
Reeves
up.
take
They
that I
need
think Nick Wright had.
stability. They need
And
culture,
now it's
and
looking
Pete
like
provides that.
Reeves is
I
way
think
better
he's
than
an
Bradley Beal,
excellent
and he's
fit with the
next to
Raiders.
Devin Booker. I don't
Pretty
think that's
good
that hot of a
bet that
take.
a
Even like
coordinator
impact-wise,
just
That's what
won't
I'm
do.
saying. All-around player. I think he's got more on-ball juice and more wiggle game to the basket. He's a better three-point shooter statistically. Now Booker takes tougher three-point shots, but I think Austin is really improved in that area
and
off
it's
the
like,
bounce.
and you can also make the comparison like, oh, Devin Booker's a good late game performer. Austin Reeves has had a few game winners this year. Like against the Warriors, he had that layup late.
Who would you trust more in a playoff series right now? I would trust Austin
I would
with
trust
how Booker
Austin.
looked against Minnesota last year, and then the breakdown against Dallas a couple years ago with Luka dogging him.
I think this is one of those takes that's going to age very well. It's like
Exactly.
a fine wine.
Exactly. Chat, you hear that? Grant Mona approved.
Be easy on him, chat.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody yesterday was trying to tell me, well, do you have inside knowledge to knowing that Norman Powell's going to be back starting? I'm like, why would he not start? He's averaging 24. He's their leading scorer.
I think the Clippers figured out that Kawhi off the bench thing is not going to work. Like when he came back, remember, off the ACL, and they was like, let's just not do that anymore. Let's just start the guy when he comes back from injury.
And it's not like they have been fantastic since the All-Star break without Norman Powell.
This is the LA Clippers Audio Network.
Best fans and best arena in the entire sport.
Take us with you wherever you are on the iHeartRadio app.
Back to Clippers basketball.
Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets here at Intuit Dome. Tip-off just 30 minutes away. Welcome back. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Coming up here in your pregame show, we will get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard, but joining the show right now from the Sporting Tribune is a man who has great pipes, a great voice. It's more beautiful than mine, of course, but that's not saying much. But in this case, it is. G-Mona, Grant Mona is here from the Sporting Tribune. Follow him at Gmona48 on X. Grant, thanks for doing this once again here on Clippers Countdown.
It's been a while, Adam. I need to come on here more often. I've been doing a lot of content, pregame, postgame. Now that I have these tier 1 accesses where I can give fans some pregame content on the floor, it's been a while, but I am so glad to be back and talking Clippers basketball, especially a team that's won 5 of the last 6.
Yeah, the Clippers playing better, and that one loss was against the New Orleans Pelicans, where they could not miss from the outside. Then, like the next 2 games, they shot 10% from 3. But, of course, they played their best against the Clippers. But the Clippers have been coming around as of late. Let's talk about their last outing, a 23-point win in Atlanta over the Hawks, where they flipped the switch in the second half and had one of the best defensive performances in a quarter I've ever seen in my life, where the Hawks shot a snowman. They were that cold. They shot an 8. They scored 8 points against the Clippers in that third quarter. Have you seen anything like that before?
I don't think I have. I mean, there has been huge runs in the NBA. I remember like Dallas had this insane like 23-0 run against OKC last year. But the defensive intensity that the Clippers can bring, that's I think the biggest thing when it was 35-8 in that third quarter. The biggest thing of that is that what the Clippers can do when they ratchet up that intensity, when they really dial in defensively. We've seen it multiple times over the course of the year. It has slipped a little bit, but that quarter was just dominance. I don't care if it's Atlanta. That is impressive for any team against any NBA competition. I don't care who it is.
And the Hawks had scored no less than 119 their last 7 games heading into that contest. They can get up and down. Offense typically isn't the issue for them. So what they were able to do, holding down Trae Young, 17 points, very impressive. I felt like Kawhi Leonard had his best defensive game. That ties in with the Clippers' third quarter, but he looked more locked in and focused, and they had 5 guys on a string out there. But when the 2-time defensive player of the year is looking like that, everybody falls in line.
Yeah, and I think everyone's getting a little bit caught up in like, oh, how does he look offensively? How many legs, how do his legs look on these jump shots? Like, how much lift is he getting? But what you and I are seeing, and I'm glad that we're on the same page here, is the defensive stuff. His ability to get his hands in passing lanes, his on-ball defense has been a lot better. I think that athleticism, as he gets those minutes up, as those minutes start to increase, and his legs do get under him, we're going to see that defensive player, not defensive player of the year, but all-NBA type player that Kawhi Leonard is on the defensive end.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. More two-way play from the Claw, as I believe tonight is game 25 for him on the season, I want to say.
There.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there.
It.
We only have 15 more games to go. Somebody who has been out there for almost every game this season would be Big Zoo, Ivica Zubac, Mr. Reliable, the Iron Man for this Clippers team. And the way he's been playing, not just on the defensive end, we expect that, but offensively, where he's getting you 20 points a game in the month of March, and they're featuring him more. I just love it because I always say there's an easier path to victory, and it's playing through Ivica Zubac, and now we're seeing that.
Yeah, I think it's important for them to play through him. I mean, in these offensive spells, I think it's inevitable that the Clippers will go through those at times. When you get through those, playing through Zoo is probably the best option because he's a monster down low. He had that double-double streak until I believe the last game where he was, I think, 10 or 11 games in a row of double-doubles. But not just that, Zoo is such an awesome defender, too. I think we get caught up again in the offensive stats, but Zoo has been such an anchor down low. I know all these 65 game minimum requirement things are happening. If Zoo can squeak himself into this defensive player of the year, just to talk about it, I think that would be an awesome season for him. I remember in the summer, you and I were talking about what would a great season from Zubats be. And we were kind of like, 13-10, 14-12. He's exceeded that so far, and I think he's been better than even as advertised than we thought.
He's darn near 16-13, I think, right now, and he's getting stronger and better as the season has gone along. Somebody the Clippers brought in just past the midway point of the season at the trade deadline, Bogdan Bogdanovic, back in Atlanta. And I really would say he played within himself in that ball game. He didn't try to do too much. He had 12 points, but he was very efficient out there with just taking 6 shots, making 4 of them, 2 of 2 from the outside. And the 3 ball has really come around. He's fitting in now very seamlessly with this group.
Yeah, I think he's fitting in a lot better. He's getting more comfortable. I've had a lot of people tell me, like, Bogey's the kind of guy, he needs to find his rhythm. He needs to be a guy that you can kind of work into the lineup. And the first few games, it wasn't that. He was trying to, like, find a shot too much. He was trying to do too much isolation. Now he's just playing with the rhythm of the offense. Him and James Harden, as we all know, they love each other. They've been posting about each other on social media. But just his presence on the floor, another shooter, a guy that can even handle the ball. That's, I think, something that a lot of Clipper fans didn't really expect, is that his ability to handle the ball, run a pick and roll pretty efficiently. And now you're going to have Norm Powell and Bogey. We'll see how Bogey does off the bench again, but I think he's been trending way upwards.
Yeah, it feels like you have another Norman Powell with him. At least last year's version, he finished right behind Norman Powell in Sixth Man of the Year voting last year. So Bogey far from washed. He could still be playing his best basketball as we come down the stretch here in a Clippers uniform. Somebody else who has been getting more minutes, 10 more minutes per game in the month of March, Nico Batum. In the starting lineup, playing heavier minutes. I love Sneeko. I love seeing him at the power forward position. Much of the offseason, the talk was, well, the Clippers never got that power forward. He was hiding in plain sight. He was there. He was there internally. It's Nico Batum.
Yeah, Nico has been so good. And I've tried to ask Ty Lue a few times about how much impact he brings to the Clippers. It's not going to show up on the stat sheet. It's not going to be one of these things where you see him every single game, but the bat outs to an offensive rebound or getting his hand into a passing lane. Nico is so essential. He's like an all-NBA role player. That's kind of how I categorize it as. And, I really think that they are going to need him in these play-in, playoff scenarios where you're going to have to match up with bigs, stretch the floor a little bit. He has, in my opinion, been an unsung hero for this Clippers team at many times. But now that he's playing more minutes, it's kind of evident. Me and you probably have the same theory that they're kind of saving Nico for this later part of the season, and it's paying off right now.
Yeah, they put him in bubble wrap somewhere at Intuit Dome. They have just been holding on to him. Yeah, but he is looking fresh right now and going up against his former team in the Hornets tonight. You mentioned playoffs, play-in. How do you see things shaking out in the standings for the Clippers right now?
It's so tough when the teams above you are playing so well. The Houston Rockets have now shot up. They're playing so well. The Warriors and now the Timberwolves are on these winning streaks. So even though the Clippers are winning all these games and they're finally finding the rhythm, the teams above you have to lose too. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not out of the question. They're only a game behind or game and a half behind Minnesota, maybe 2 games behind Golden State. And those teams do have way less of a strength of schedule, but the Clippers do have the tiebreaker over the Warriors. They do not over the Timberwolves. So we have to, take that into account, but it's still possible. There's still some time left. I know we're starting to get to the end of the season, but there's still a lot of time left for the Clippers to make their move. And as long as they're in that 7-8 game, I would prefer it to be here at Intuit Dome as a 7 seed. But if it is, you get 2 chances to get that 1 playoff spot. So it's really not that bad.
They've really established that home court advantage in their inaugural season here in their new and really their first home here at Intuit Dome. They're taking on Charlotte tonight. What have you seen from the Charlotte Hornets and LaMelo Ball? I kind of compared him to Pete Maravich in some ways because he plays a flashy style. It's not necessarily a winning brand now. He's still young. They don't have all the right pieces. It's a young team going through a rebuild, of course. But we saw what he did against the Lakers earlier this season, and that was at Crypto, beating them down the stretch probably 3 weeks ago. Like, this is a guy that if he's hot, he can burn you.
Yeah, LaMelo's such an awesome talent, and I think he gets a lot of flack for the way he plays, but it's just such a flow. It's such an open way of playing. And his ability to distribute the basketball, he can shoot it from the Intuit Dome logo here at Intuit Dome. So he can extend the range from three. He's a guy that really loves to push and transition too. He's flashy. He's fun to watch, but hopefully he's not that fun to watch tonight, Adam, against the Clippers. But this Hornets team, they're starting to get some things together. I love Charles Lee, their head coach. Brandon Miller's out right now, like you mentioned, with that wrist injury, but he is awesome to watch too. That duo is really fun. And I'm curious to see that Mark Williams versus Zubats matchup tonight, because Mark Williams, post All-Star break, really didn't have his touch, really didn't play that well. Now he's starting to play 26 and 14, 20 and 10. That's going to be an awesome matchup down low.
Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Tip-off is just about 21 minutes away. Here at Intuit Dome, he is Grant Mona. Follow him at GMona48 on X. Where else can people find you? What are all the platforms, Grant?
Money Mo Media on YouTube. I post Money Mo Media TV clips every single day of Clippers stuff, but on X as well. And also follow Adam. Follow Clippers Talk, man. It's the best out here.
Thank you, my guy. Thanks again for doing this. Been far too long. That's my fault.
Of course, man. No problem.
Coming up next, we'll get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard. Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Tip-off just under 20 minutes away. Here at Intuit Dome, I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Be nice, chat.
Jan from Toyota here. Feeling cooped up from winter? Well, now until March 31st is the perfect time for a new Toyota, like Camry, Grand Highlander, and more. So you can get back out there and do the things you love, like hitching up the boat to a tundra for a lake day.
I haven't water skied in a long time.
I agree with the Shaft 9000, but it's going to be hard to say out of the plan if those teams in front of them don't lose. Golden State, Timberwolves,
Toyota.
the Rockets were in a downward trend. Now they're the 2 seed.
To chill or not to chill.
Lakers just won.
Get your favorite song on the playlist. And the friendship.
I mean, Austin Reeves is better than Devin Booker now. Pets' heads are falling off.
Rent free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party.
Not everyone
And the
agrees
sound
with
of
that. That's
ice
okay.
cold can
Soon they
cracking
will.
open was music to your ears already. Coors
Not
Light.
everyone can be right like we are.
Exactly.
Celebrate responsibly.
Visionaries.
Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
It's where we raise our families, earn a living, enjoy life.
But when disaster strikes, it takes all of us to come together and make it home again.
Your Southern California Ford dealers are helping first responders with donations and support to the LA Fire Department and California Community Wildfire Recovery.
If your vehicles were damaged by the recent Los Angeles area fires, your Southern California Ford dealers are offering you employee pricing.
It takes all of us to turn heartache into hope and make it home.
You mind turning the
LA
station
strong,
down in my ears?
built Ford proud.
The station?
Dan
Is that possible?
Patrick.
Commissioner
Thank you
of the
so much.
NBA, Adam Silver. Give me the wildest
Carlo,
thing
am
that
I
you guys have
crazy?
considered.
The NBA
Per
is the
se.
only league that plays 48 minutes. I am a fan of
At this
4
point-
10-minute quarters, putting aside what it means
Yeah.
for
I'm
records and
pretty
things
sure
like
I'd
that.
take Austin Reeves.
Incidentally,
over
if you
Devin
went to a
Booker.
40-minute game with the issues around load
No.
management and resting, it would be the
I don't think
equivalent
that's crazy.
of taking like 15 games off the
It's
season.
insane.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday morning, 6 a.m. Right here on LA's
Oh, a
home
lot
of
of
the
people agree
world
with it.
champion Dodgers.
Couple don't. Some don't.
I'd agree with it.
Throws it off the window, finishes in the foul.
Los
It's hot,
Angeles.
but not this
Slipper
season.
Nation.
This is your home
Yeah,
for the
right?
LA Clippers.
LA Clippers.
Take us with you on the iHeartRadio app.
Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets here at Intuit Dome as they return off a 3-1 4-game road trip. Next 4 here at the Dome. The Dome is home. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back in. Coming up, back to Carlo Jimenez. But first, let's get your drive around the league. Brought to you by Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electrics, and even fuel cell electric vehicles. So you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. Earlier, Orlando would win by 5. Handing the Cavaliers just their 11th loss of the season. They won that game in Cleveland. Banchero with 24, 11, and 7 assists in the victory. Jared Allen with 20 and 12 in defeat. We'll see the Cavaliers here on Tuesday night. Best team in the league. The Dallas Mavericks would fall to the Philadelphia 76ers, 2 teams having lost seasons. Quentin Grimes, where'd he come from? He had 28 and 6 against his former team. Another good trade there, Nico. As they won by 5, PJ Washington had 29 and 12 for the Dallas Mavericks in defeat. And right now, 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Brooklyn Nets leading the Atlanta Hawks 38-31. Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. We got tip-off 16 minutes away here at Intuit Dome with Carlo Jimenez, who is joining us next here in the pregame show Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
It's where we raise our families, earn a living,
I'm so
enjoy
fed up
life.
with Nico Harrison.
But when disaster strikes,
Who are you fed up
all
with?
of us
Nico
to come
Harrison.
together and make it home.
Your Southern
Quentin
California
Grimes,
Ford
he
dealers
just-
are helping first
Jalen Brunson?
responders with donations
Ah!
and support to the LA Fire Department and California Community Wildfire Recovery.
If your vehicles were damaged
Is
by
he
the
gonna
recent
survive the
Los
summer?
Angeles area fires, your Southern California
Highly
Ford
unlikely.
dealers are offering you employee
You don't think so?
It takes
No, I think
so
he does.
turn hard
Really?
out
And then- yeah, I think he does.
and make it
Next year will be the make
LA
or break it.
strong, built
I'm kind
for
of thinking
pride.
that too.
Because the ownership has been behind him in public. I don't think they would just.
They are until they aren't, though, you know?
Yeah. It would be a really bad look for them, though, to have this guy come in, say yes to his plan, and then be like, actually, we don't believe in your plan, even though your plan put us back 20 years. Let's fire you.
Here's the thing, though.
He'd be top 10 worst employee ever at a company of all time.
Worst employee of every month.
Like imagine you had a company, you hired a guy, he started out good, and then he just bottomed you out, and then you fired him.
He cooked last offseason.
Dude.
Or last trade deadline, I mean.
He got votes for executive of the year.
Gafford, PJ Washington. But it could depend on the fan pressure, you know? If it gets so out of hand.
And they lose
that they
so
have
many
to do
season
it.
tickets.
Right.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we're looking at no money.
Because honestly, that's probably the best move they can make to appease fans this summer. It's not going to be an acquisition.
No. Agreed.
If you want fans to get behind a move.
You're not really solving anything, but
I'm not saying I want anybody to get fired, but I'm just wondering what's going to happen.
no, we're not saying we hope he gets fired.
Yeah,
Just wonder.
come on.
Would he get fired?
I think he will.
Will Yusuf Nurkic fight someone today? You know, that's what I want to know.
Big Nurk.
Big Nurk. I didn't realize he had a 4-year, $70 million
Los
deal.
Angeles.
Clipper Nation.
This is your home for the LA Clippers.
LA Clippers.
Take us with you on the iHeartRadio app.
Clippers taking on the Hornets here at Intuit Dome. Tip-off is just 14 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. It is Clippers Countdown. And still to come, we got your keys to victory. But right now, back over to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, this Charlotte Hornets team, while down on the season, have some dangerous players that on any given night are talented enough to beat pretty much anybody in the league and put up a ton of points.
Just ask the San Antonio Spurs. Charlotte had 123 points, not in the game, through 3 quarters in their last contest when they were able to win that one 145 to 134. They can shoot with the best of them. You mentioned some of those elite players. Miles Bridges, over his last 7 games, Adam, is averaging 31 points a night on 51% from the field. He scored 29 last time out against the Clippers. LaMelo Ball, who's leading the NBA in rookie scoring since mid-February. And then they're really getting a lot healthier. Nick Smith Jr. has been excellent from deep as of late, despite struggling this season from the outside. The Clippers will see a familiar face in Moussa Diabate, who has been a menace on the offensive glass. This is a very, very good Charlotte team with their young talent. We haven't been able to put it together, Adam. I think they're due for some vets in that locker room, similar to what we saw this year with Detroit, where it was a young group, couldn't really put it together. They get guys like Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr. in that locker room, and Tobias Harris, and all of a sudden they're a playoff team sitting at 6. So Charlotte needs some of that veteran leadership, but right now they are a young group with a lot of explosive offensive weapons on that side.
A former Charlotte Hornet now with the Clippers, and Nico Batum has been playing some of his best ball of the season, has been starting a lot of games, playing heavier minutes, over 10 more minutes per game in the month of March. What have you seen from Nico with the Nico
Testing, 1, 2.
especially from distance?
Yeah, the three-point shooting has been a revelation, really. We knew he was in him, but 54% in his last 6 starts. It's been excellent. A block a game in those starts as well. The biggest thing for Nico Batum is he looks like he's having fun, and he always has to challenge himself in one way or another throughout the season. And we talked to him about the challenge of playing with somebody like Bogdan Bogdanovic and Ivica Zubac. And it was funny, his answer, we all played European basketball. We share the ball, we move it around, and the Clippers seem to be very comfortable with Nico on the floor, especially with somebody like James out there. It feels like the Clippers really flow offensively. Nico and James, two ultimate connectors in terms of finding their teammates on the offensive end. The biggest thing about Nico Batum, Adam, is he has unlocked another level of offense and defense for this team. I think in the starting lineup, we didn't expect Nico Batum to be the missing piece for them to be really locked in defensively and then moving the ball better offensively, but that has been the key. Once again, Nico Batum showing why the 19th year professional veteran, 17 years in the NBA, is truly a big piece for the Clippers, and he's going against his former employer, the team that really gave him the biggest contract of his career in the Charlotte Hornets. See if he's got a little extra for this one.
Now, a guy who's been playing and giving me some Nico vibes as of late because of his versatility, whether starting or coming off the bench, would be Derrick Jones Jr. I've really liked how he's looked overall in this bench role. 23 minutes last time out, 14 points. The verticality he supplies this team with that is much needed, where he goes up and gets it. And then in the second half of that ball game, we saw a great connection with him and Ben Simmons in Atlanta, who was finding him on back-to-back possessions, streaking to the hoop.
Yeah, Ben Simmons, the connectivity that he's created for the Clippers now, 29 assists, 2 turnovers in his 6 games. Just unbelievable stuff. The Clippers need that, really, considering how much they have struggled at times this season at coming away with possessions without turning the ball over. But you're right. Feels like right now, Adam, there's a couple of Clippers who struggled out of the All-Star break who are starting to turn it around. You think about Amir Coffey so far. Derrick Jones Jr. has been knocking down shots, shooting over 50% from the field in his last 10 or so games. The Clippers are starting to put the pieces together, and at the right time, get hot at the right time, and similar to March Madness, the Clippers could go on a big-time run.
So my player to watch in this one, wouldn't you know, Norman Powell, who's back for the Clippers.
Yeah, Joey told me you were picking that when he showed up at 5 o'clock. Or not 5.
How do you guess? How do you know that one? All right, I'm going with Norman Powell. Who do you got for the Clippers?
Norman Powell. I'm going to go with the guy in – no, I've gone with him a couple too many times. Give me Big Zoo.
Ooh.
Give me Big Zoo. Facing Yusuf Nurkic, he gives Big Nurk big buckets. I think this will be a big game for the big man.
Okay. I thought last time out even, Ivica Zubac going 8 of 9 from the field. It kind of made me wonder, could he go 9 of 10?
Oh.
And then could he go 10 of 11? Could he get the basketball a little bit more?
Did you think he could go 24 for 27? Were you thinking about that?
I mean, I'd like to test that theory.
Okay.
I think it's possible
Just
out
wondering.
there.
Yeah.
Regardless of how many touches he gets, the productivity is there. He's never complained about lack of touches out there. He always is that team guy. You mentioned the European players and how selfless they are. Ivica Zubac's obviously a body size.
100%. This is somebody who continues to just be the ultimate pro in some ways for this Clipper team, Adam. He never complains. He always does his job. He's available, which is often sometimes the best ability, and he's consistent every single night. I mean, you think about the numbers this year for Ivica Zubac: 4th in rebounds, 3rd in offensive rebounds, top 5 in points in the paint per game, top 6 in field goal percentage. He does a lot for this Clipper team at an elite level in the NBA. Only Giannis has made more shots around the rim this season than Ivica Zubac. Wow. This is somebody who has been so efficient for this Clipper team. I know we'll see Evan Mobley in here, Adam, on Tuesday. And I think for Big Zoo, if there was ever to be a coming out party against a guy who's also having a coming out season, that's going to be a big game for Ivica Zubac. Kind of put his name on the map, facing Allen and Mobley on the other side. Mobley, an all-star, Allen, who's been excellent throughout his NBA career. But I would argue he's better than both of them at this season, especially. So when the respect comes for Ivica Zubac, I'm waiting for it. I'm hoping sooner than later.
He deserves it. He deserves all the love for the season he has had, the backbone of their defense, and now showing what he can do offensively for this Clippers team. Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Tip-off 7 minutes away. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll get your keys to victory. That's next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Yeah.
Clippers fans, dunks, dimes, and no looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching
I bet that's one of Adam's keys,
IRL,
defensive
especially
rebounding.
at the new Intuit Dome, the official home of the LA Clippers.
Intuit Dome open just in time
Double
for Clippers
A.
season and boosts features you have to see to believe, including the Halo board and the wall.
They win
which
this. They'll be
includes
8
51
games above 500.
uninterrupted rows of the biggest Clippers fans.
Have they been
As the
8 this
newest
season?
technologically advanced sports
Have they been
arena,
8 games
Intuit
above
Dome
500?
helps you enjoy the NBA
pretty sure that
IRL
was.
like never before.
When they first got,
Get your tickets to see
because when they
all the
first got
action at
Kawhi back,
LA's
they won like
sickest
6
new
or
arena.
7.
It all starts
Oh,
with
okay.
buying
And they were
verified
4
tickets at
games, I think, when they got
the
them back
official
above
ticket
500.
marketplace of the LA Clippers and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can watch every highlight in person.
Chat,
From
what's the
seeing
most
your
games
favorite
above
Clippers
500
up
the
close
Clippers have been?
to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the
You got it,
hardwood.
Joey?
So get tickets at Ticketmaster because there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Jan from Toyota here. I just felt cooped up from winter. Well, now
Hey, Carlo, you think USC women going all the way?
Women? Yeah, 100%. No question.
So you can get back out there and do the things you love, like strapping your bikes into the bed of a tundra to find some new trails.
It's mostly Clippers fans who don't seem to like the take of Austin Reeves being better than Booker. So I understand that. You don't want to praise a Laker. I don't either. I wanted Nico to get him in the trade.
Loading up rods and reels into a Corolla Cross for a fly fishing trip. I got one! And hitching up the boat to a Grand Highlander for a lake day.
I haven't water skied in a long time.
Live out your spring fantasies with a new Toyota. Come in today.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
Throws it out the window, finishes in the foul.
Los Angeles.
Clipper Nation.
This is your home for the LA Clippers.
LA Clippers.
Take us with you on the iHeartRadio app.
Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets here at Intuit Dome. Tip-off is just moments away. Let's get to your keys to victory. Well, last time out for the Hornets, they won 145-134 in San Antonio over the Spurs and shot 57% from 3. They went 26 of 46 from the outside. The all-time record is 29 made three-pointers in a ball game. They were right there. Clippers got to make sure they don't let them walk into this one and still feel like they're that hot from the outside. They got to play great on the perimeter and not let them get some heat checks up early, because that could turn into a long night if Charlotte is knocking them down from the outside. All right, here we go. It's Carlo Jimenez on the call. Clippers, Hornets, tipping off here at Intuit Dome. Coming up next, right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
TV off, turn his TV off, turn his TV off,
Turn this TV off.
turn his TV off.
Your haircut looks good, man.
Pregame is done.
Carlo Jimenez is taking the reins on the
Talk
other
to you guys
side.
post-game.
Tip-off is next.
Talk to you guys.
Left wing three. Got it.
Carlo, talk to
This
you
is
too.
the
Guys,
Clippers Countdown
see you
on
later.
the LA Clippers
You wouldn't
Audio
accept my boot
Network.
here.